Otherwise, none of this will come. Okay, let's redo that again for comedy.
You want to do the yeah, because now I'll be with Amber. She was too quick with I'll be in on the joke this time too if you do it.
Yeah. Okay, well, this is it's a new kind of perspective. I haven't done something like this before, but it does feel like I'm across from you at the conference table. But anyway, congratulations on the wheel, Steve. I've been a fan of your work for some time.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I, of course, enjoyed your screenplay adaptations into films. And then I actually had Clark Duke on the show. I made a note. I wanted to mention that to you.
Oh, great. Do you have him on the show because of his movie, because of Arkansas? Oh, yeah, that was great. Yeah. He wanted to make that movie for a long time. I was thrilled he finally got to.
Yeah, it was. I'm so glad, too. And then, so anyway, but I want to get this housekeeping out of the way for people watching or listening to the wheel is going to be is at Toronto. It's a TIFF, and it's going to still, as we speak, has several screenings at the Lightbox.
Yes, we have our world premiere imminently, like in a couple hours.
I don't know what you're doing here, wasting your time, though.
Oh, we actually stopped all of TIFF just to make this happen for you. We were like, there's nothing happens until this interview happens.
Yep.
You know, right? And
You're
so,
welcome.
yeah.
Don't let me interrupt you. Well, I wish you much success with the film. And I think, given what I saw, which was the film, and it's just that you're going to...
I was like, where did this go in the trailer, huh?
Based on the 2.5-minute clip I saw, you guys are really talented. No, I just sort of, I'm in my 50s, and it transported me right back to that those times, like, which were very rare, but where, a relationship failed, I was broken up with, and it's sort of that level of anxiety of mostly in fear, change and the unknown and all those things that come with the end of a long-term relationship, and which is kind of what the film is grappling with. I mean, I should say it's about trying to save a relationship. Not the emphasis is on trying to save this relationship between these two young folks played by Amber and Taylor. But it's that kind of pushing and pull it was, I thought you guys did a tremendous job with that. It was very, very realistic. That's not a question, but I
well, I think, yeah, I mean, I thought about my relationships when I was young as well, and thought about like how impossible it was to untangle myself from a bad situation, even though I desperately wanted to make it better. Like every move I seemed to be the wrong move, and yet I wanted to kind of keep that connection with that person I was with, no matter at all costs.
Sure, right.
Just look, it's just there's a certain level at which it's an impossibility, and so how do you work your way through what is essentially this impossibility? And the way through it is to obviously figure out more about yourself and to try and figure out how to in making a connection with that other person, learn what you need to learn about that person to keep that connection, because who you think that other person is maybe no longer exists, and so you're trying to connect with someone who no longer exists really, and so then you have to kind of reset that relationship, and it's difficult to do that, and you usually have to go through a lot of troubles to get there. And
right.
Amber and Taylor were so willing to kind of jump in and explore what it meant to do that in real time as characters, and it was extraordinary, I think, what they did.
Well, to the actors, your chemistry, as complicated and perhaps frictional. That's not a word, but you know what I'm saying. Like, did you guys get an opportunity to rehearse, or what was your process? Because you guys really did come, you were convincing as a couple. Really convincing.
We had like 2 masked, face shielded, really weird, like 30 feet distance.
Why would you do that? Taylor, you need to brush your teeth or use maybe some,
it was my hygiene was to blame for those.
gross.
Not this global pandemic, but yeah, I've worked on that since, and now we can all sit together.
Yep. That's why it's better now.
Yeah.
Go ahead though.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough at first. I think, and Taylor was saying it earlier, and Amber, you probably, I don't know, I'd love to hear what you feel about this, but we went away from those interviews where we were literally masked up 30 feet apart in a parking lot, rehearsing these really emotional and intense scenes. And I walked away thinking, well, I have no idea if I'll be able to pull this film off. You know, it's so, you know, obviously having real connection is central to creating any kind of dynamic. And so, yeah, it was a bit scary. It was harrowing, but I felt confident in the other things that we would do. Like I would say after that, I was like, okay, rehearsing's out. You know, we're not going to rehearse in any particular way, not in a way that one would expect to find the reality we needed to create. So we had to create it in different ways, and we had, you know, we were up there in a bubble in the woods, so we had no choice but to talk to each other. So that was a thing. We, you know, we would have a lot of conversations, where we would just kind of talk about what we were going to do.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And then just gave them the space when we had the cameras up for them to explore what there is to be explored in the scene itself, and that went a long way. You know, we would, you know, I mean, that was the experience for me. What do you guys? How was it for you?
Yeah, no, I felt confident all going up to it until we had that rehearsal. I was like, oh, well, this film is so predicated on our chemistry and and I was like, I don't know if we're gonna be able to connect at all. But it was just because of the circumstance. And as soon as I think after the second day, when we got it up on its feet and actually got into it, I think it really rolled from there. And it was a fun experience given everything that we had to work through.
Yeah, especially like also the story and the relationship is that, which is like, it's 2 people who spent a long time together, but like are quite disconnected from one another. So,
I'll say, yeah.
So like we didn't have a lot of time together. Like Taylor and I, like we emailed back and forth a little bit. We mostly like did our own work and then just kind of showed up and met, and like Steve was saying, like we spent time together as people. But I think that really kind of helped, is like we both really invested in our sides of things and then let the disconnect like fall where it fell. And that I think it wasn't about them like being on the same page as much as it is like clashing, trying to accomplish whatever they're accomplishing. So it kind of helps.
Well, I have to admit, I went into this really not knowing what to, I didn't like do very much, you know, I didn't do really any the homework ahead of time in terms of before I watched. I just wanted to go in with completely blank slate, kind of like open-minded about it. And in the opening sort of, you know, sequences, I actually thought in the car and getting, it was matched so many movies where the young couples in the car going up to what turns out to be a horror film, you know, because it had some of those similar moments, and also just their chemistry was so, you know, it was kind of concerning. It was causing me, you know, like some anxiety just to see some of this hostility that the Albee character played by Amber, you know, and I was sure I was going to be watching a horror film, and I'm sort of waiting for the shoe to drop, and then as we're watching it, I get confirmed that in fact it is a horror film. No, it is, but it is similar. What?
Yeah, there's no monster that was going to be scarier than those guys trying to work it out, for sure.
It is, and I mean, the wheel, you know, it refers to, of course, to well, sure. What do we say? Do we say that's in of itself should remain a question mark? What the wheel refers to?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. that one? You know, I'll answer that one.
What do you feel about that?
I mean, there's all these kind of esoteric and metaphorical things you could kind of, you know, gin up for the title. I mean, I think of it as like, you can think of it as like the cycle of things where things turn out well, and then you could think of being caught in a cycle you can't get out of. Right? Like you know, there are things that are whatever cyclical that make life great, right? The wholeness of life are circles, and then also I'm really reaching here, but then and then also like you cannot, it's an inescapable, you know, cycle that you wish to get out from, and you can't figure out how to break free.
Good job, Steve.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
And
yeah, and a Ferris wheel. Yeah, and a literal, right. So exactly. Then we have
however we want to break it down.
That's right. Yeah, and I wish Trent were here to answer this question, because he named it.
the screenwriter.
Yeah, the screenwriter. Yes, he titled.
Truthfully, we're not responsible.
That's right.
So.
None of us are responsible. He titled.
Well, I will say that it's a rare case, you know, where I really had no idea how it was going to end. And I didn't feel like it was one of those manipulative things. I really just, you know, you don't know, because of course we don't know until we're, you know, when we're in that kind of we don't know from day that when you're in that kind of point in a relationship, is it going to work or not, you know? So right up to those last seconds, there was it just turned out, I'm like, this really was a satisfying experience, you know, because I was along for the ride the entire way. So kudos to you guys for that, you know, and just, I honestly, Taylor and Amber, both of you, I'm not just saying this when I say you really did a wonderful job in your roles, and I always felt you kind of kept it. It was just probably a great collaboration with Steve, and nobody was over the top, and you know, I felt it was all very, very true, authentic. So I'm happy to get behind the film and to, you know, urge people to go see it when it comes to other is this like so this is the world premiere, right? What better festival?
Yeah, and then we'll see what life it has after this. Either more festivals, and ultimately.
Well, there will be. I predict good things, and it's in the the contemporary world cinema category of TIFF, so it's up for competition. Okay, I think good things are coming.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you. Appreciate you liking the film. Yeah, it means a lot to us.
Oh, sure. And Amber, do you know Trieste Kelly Dunn?
Do I?
Put you on the spot. I'm sorry. Well, you did a couple of episodes. I always make notes when I'm doing my research, because you did a couple of episodes among all the work you've been doing. You were on Banshee, a couple of episodes. Was that right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was a while. Yeah.
Well, that's a very right. So Trieste is in the cast of that, or maybe I don't know. I thought maybe, but maybe
I had a small guest role on that when I was like 15 or 16.
You may not have had scenes for her. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we worked together. I was with
Very good. Okay. Well, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I just thought, well, maybe she's a friend, and so anyway. Okay. Last thing is Taylor. What was it like working with Kelsey Grammer? I think you.
Yeah, it was fun. That man has so many stories that that some you can't repeat, and some you just take home with you. And he's a terrific actor, but just such a fun person to hang out with.
Very, very what's the word? Polite, and you know, answer, I guess. You know, we'll wait till after we're done to get some of the stories, maybe. Anyway, the wheel, it's going to be a TIFF. Check the tiff.net website for details, but it's going to be at the Lightbox. It's having its premiere today as we speak, and then it's several more on I could see on the 17th and the I don't know. My chicken scratch and several more screenings coming up. I'm sorry, I can't even read my own handwriting at the Lightbox.
Theater or streamer near you, yes, for sure.
And then onward with the film. I'm sure it's going to have a great trajectory. So again, congratulations, guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Really,
man.
really nice meeting you all.
Yeah,
Me
likewise.
too.
Great conversation.
Thank you.
Okay.